What up?
What's in the dizzle, my frizzles?
Did y'all watch the season openers? A couple different sports this last weekend here?
I watched baseball. Twins are looking like World Series contenders.
Hey, except for one of those days.
Hey, White Sox are going to be a playoff team. It happens.
Okay.
But it's okay because we have the AL MVP in Nelson Cruz, so it is what it is.
That's fair. Well, we're talking about the MLB. What's going on with the Marlins?
Yeah, so
They're kind of screwed over the whole system.
Well, okay, so obviously they're in Florida, which is a hotbed right now for COVID.
Would you say that the Marlins are feeling kind of fishy?
They're feeling.
I would say they're more flopped.
Oh, shit! A comeback!
They're in some hot water.
Boo. But yeah, so the Marlins are in some deep shit.
Let's just say they won't get off the hook for this one.
Oh my god!
COVID is shooting them like fish in a barrel.
Boo!
Well, at least
Anyway.
one person's performing.
I
But,
believe they had 19 people total on their team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
but
they're looking for pro-level subs with quotations around it.
Huh.
Yo, maybe the Mets will trade him Tim Tebow.
That's
God,
probably
please.
who they're looking at. Those
No.
type of
No, they wouldn't, because the only way an off topic, but the only way an MLB team would ever try and go get Tim Tebow is that they just want to put butts in seats.
Yeah.
And there's no butts to put in seats right now.
get those views.
I guess, yeah.
Were the Marliners considered a
The Marlins?
contender?
The what?
The Marlins, no.
Yeah.
Not the Marliners?
No, the Marlins.
He was thinking of the Mariners.
No, I know.
It's
He
close
just
enough.
decided to mix them both. No, the Marlins are probably the worst team in the National League.
So
They didn't have a chance.
No, they didn't really have a
They were
chance.
so just helping the other teams.
I mean, they're
out.
off to a good start. They won their series in Philadelphia, so I mean, they were looking pretty good, but it wasn't going to last by any means. No, the Marlins were not supposed to be good anyway. They're one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. And honestly, I don't think this is as big of a deal. We knew it was going to happen eventually, but it's the thing that I was talking about earlier is, it's a good thing they caught it this early in the season, because the only teams that got affected, New York, Baltimore, Miami, Philly. That's it. Because the Phillies and the Yankees had to cancel their series, or postpone their series because of, testing and stuff.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And then the Orioles had to just go back to Baltimore. But that's it. It's not like it's a chain reaction. That's it, because that's all that's been played.
Right.
So, yes, it sucked, but I don't think it's this detrimental to be like, all right, we need to halt the league. We need to, do this. And,
I don't see it happen.
No, I think they caught it early enough in the season to where it will still be okay. A crappy situation, but you knew it was going to happen eventually.
Kind of off topic. Is the NHL doing a kind of bubble like the NBA did? Or
Yeah.
I believe so.
Because I was reading a thing earlier to talk about how baseball should have done a bubble like the NBA because of how the NBA has gotten.
Yeah.
NBA has done great so far, and NHL I think has been doing great too. I don't think they've had any major.
Right. They actually just had a test, like 4,000 people, 0.
Which is
Positive,
perfect.
Yeah.
Because
By the way, MLS has had 0 cases in their last 3 rounds of testing.
Are they doing a bubble or is it?
Yes, they're doing the bubble.
They were
and
the
actually,
first bubble.
if you leave the bubble, you cannot come back.
They're the strictest.
Which I think the
bubble and
NBA should
everything.
do. Yeah, MLS is in the strictest guideline for the bubble. Like, if you even leave the bubble or even are out of the facility, you cannot return to your team. You have to fly back home.
So do you think the bubble is helping them? Do you think
Yes.
Or do you think that is it too late for the MLB to try to do a bubble?
They tried in Arizona, and the MLBPA
shot that.
it
Yeah,
down.
they did not want to do that. So that's not really. They just wanted to get a season done. So that was kind of their dilemma, and they just didn't want to. They just didn't want to play in the bubble, which I think is just kind of annoying because I think they would have made it safer because then we would avoid this whole situation entirely. But you look at leagues like the NBA and MLS is doing insanely good. Like, it's obviously a format that's working. Everything that NBA and MLS has done up to this point has been amazing, and the quality of play has not changed. In my opinion, the first few games were a little shaky, but then it kind of started to pick up a little bit. MLS isn't the best quality league to begin with, so if you just take that with a grain of salt, but I think the quality's still been good. There have been some insanely good games. It's still weird just not having fans there. That's just how life is when you're a sports fan. It's just weird not seeing fans. because having fans makes a big impact on, especially Major League Soccer. And, like, no one really talks about this, but Major League Soccer and NFL matter the most for home field advantage, easily.
I think so.
That-
I wonder, has the NFL talked about doing a bubble?
Oh, that's what I was going to bring up.
No, I haven't heard anything about doing a bubble. They're all reporting training camp today, and most of the teams are going back tomorrow. No bubble. They're just going back to their home cities, their home markets.
So the PA also turned down a bubble situation. I think that is what's going to hinder the NFL, just like the MLB. Where a team's going to get a case, a game's going to get canceled, and we're going to have this whole situation that the NFL isn't necessarily looking at. Whereas with the with the NBA, WNBA, even MLS, all these other sports that have systems in place, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Didn't before the NFL started to do its COVID stuff? Hasn't in the last couple months the NFL already had 30 positive players?
Yeah, 30 positive.
It's from.
That's from the whole stretch though.
Right,
so far of COVID.
not from 30 players announced, but most people aren't announcing it. It was just those first couple.
Yeah.
Like the Von Miller, the first NFL case, some Rams guy.
Brian Allen,
Yeah, that Jay Glazer messed up on that one. But and then Von Miller and a couple others, like the big names.
Zeke Elliott.
You're hearing, but then I think they just kind of, stop saying who's going to win. But it's also actually in the NFL CBA thing that if you catch COVID in a risky non-football situation, you won't get any money. And so I find that interesting as well.
So if you pull off a Lou Williams, they will not pay you.
Exactly. He was just getting chicken.
Did you see that there's been 3 NFL players now that have opted out?
Yep, the Chiefs
the guard for the Chiefs, which is a big loss for them.
Chance Warmack, the guard for the Seattle.
Yep, that's also a big loss.
And then the kick return receiver for Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Top head, don't know his name. But I was reading, while you Google that, I was reading what it does for players who sit out. So if you sit out in the NFL right now, you'll receive $150,000 salary for this next year, and then your contract. I think Chance. I think so. Chance Warmack, the Seattle guard. I think he was either had it was only a 1 year deal or only had 1 year left. So I'm not really sure how his contract's going to work if he opts out of this season. Right. I think for the other 2 players who have years left, they're going to be pushed. They're going to be so. If you had 3 years left, this year wouldn't count. But I'm not sure how a 1 year deal would affect that.
Right. Do you know if it protects them against being cut?
I believe so, yes. I believe that's part of, because with the whole CBA, the whole thing they agreed on, the whole opting out, volunteering opting out was part of that.
Right.
And they have that protected that they can opt out. I think a team, so if it's a 1 year deal, the team might not be able to then, or may be able to not re-sign them, but I don't think they're allowed to cut them. Because I think those players are then put on the PUP non-football lists, so I don't think it affects the roster anyway, roster size.
Right.
So I don't think they can be cut. No, I think because once they get put on that non-football list, I think they'll probably stay there for the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, Noah.
Okay, we're talking about COVID. I looked up Magic City food ratings. By the way, 4.5. By the way,
Fire.
Where do you guys think Magic City is? It's in
Not
Atlanta.
Florida.
Lou Williams went to Atlanta.
Huh. Yeah, because his grandpa died, and so he went to his grandpa did die, and he went to the funeral.
How can they fail to mention that part, though?
Oh, it's mentioned now.
Oh, is it? Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
He just got caught in the strip club.
Yeah, he got caught in the strip club, and so nobody mentioned while he was out. But
God, could you imagine? Can you imagine if he just flew to Atlanta just for some good wings?
he probably just flew there to meet up with Jack Harlow.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me for an NFL player, though.
They're gonna drop a single in like a month, and you'll be like, damn.
Awful move by. Only helps LeBron, which is good, but
yeah, if I were the Clippers, I would be pissed at him.
I would be immensely upset.
But
Especially have players like Montrezl Harrell who left the ball for like actual family reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or why did Zion leave?
Family matters, I guess.
I guess it didn't specify.
An emergency, something with his sister. But the reasons that they leave and stuff are out there, but that's not what being like. Their reasons aren't being reported. I guess it's weird.
I mean, I guess Lou Williams actually left for a good reason. If it was for his grandpa, like I get it. I'm gonna say. I realized I was like thinking over like I'm gonna sound like a jerk if I don't like retract that statement. That my career's ruined. I'm discredited forever. People are like just like no one's a true asshole. He doesn't care about Lou Williams' grandpa.
Don't go Don't go listen to Noah's podcast, In the Know with Noah Caruso.
Yeah, don't listen to it.
Don't go onto Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere you get your podcasts. Yeah. And search up In the Know.
Don't like, share, and subscribe. Don't give me a rating.
Don't touch your face.
Don't touch your face.
Wait, you're not. Oh, okay. You don't want him to do good. I see. He wants you to fail.
No, it was a psychology experiment there.
Unacceptable.
Because the people listening probably touched their face after I said don't touch their face.
Okay.
Make sure to tweet at us if you touch your face.
There you go. Back to baseball, though. Did you know for the first time since 1954, no MLB team has started the season 3-0?
Really? It's wide open this year. Which actually, that doesn't surprise me. A very long layoff, first game. Like, that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, there's going to be a lot of parity in the MLB this year. Like, a lot of parity.
It's anybody's game to win, yeah.
Anybody's game to win.
But that's just a stat that I saw and I thought was...
Yeah.
That is a crazy little stat.
So baseball's back.
I was yawning. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Baseball.
Hopefully, in baseball, they don't strike out, kind of like my fish jokes did in comparison to Ben's.
Wow.
Ben did maul you in those fish jokes.
It happens. It just happens.
No, you're talking about the MLS a little bit.
Yeah.
So, what's going on in the MLS?
Alright, so MLS is back. The group stages have finished, because last time I was talking about the group stages. Let me get off the Magic City food menu here and get back to my bracket.
What is it?
Good chicken wings.
Dude, their food apparently is on 4.5. That doesn't sounds like.
Sorry, guys, gotta go.
Have fun.
So, just a recap of everything that happened. So, Orlando and Philadelphia finished 1-2. Orlando with a surprise win in their group. Another surprise was San Jose winning their group.
Yay!
Just edging out Seattle, and Vancouver ended up getting the wild card spot. Toronto won Group C, New England finishing second, Montreal sneaking into that wild card spot. Sporting Kansas City and Minnesota finishing 1-2 in Group D. Salt Lake City, who's playing San Jose at the moment, tied at 1, in case anyone wanted an update there. They rounded out Group D. Group E was probably one of the biggest surprises in the whole MLS is Back tournament. Columbus was the only team to go undefeated, went 3-0. They won the group. Cincinnati, who's probably the worst team in the league, they finished second. New York Red Bulls did not do very well, which I'm not surprised by. I'm not very high on them. The biggest surprise, though, Atlanta United. Not only did they not win a game, they did not score a goal.
Really?
And to put in perspective how good Atlanta is, they were just MLS Cup champions 2 years ago in just their second year of existence. And they were a Nick DeLeon rocket away from going back to MLS Cup last year. They did suffer an injury with their best player in Joseph Martinez, who I think is the best player in Major League Soccer. And the question was, how is that going to affect the team? Well, it affected them big time. Because the first 2 games of the year, they didn't play anybody. They played a crappy Cincinnati and expansion Nashville team. And, of course, they beat up on them. But now they played some good teams.
Right, they can't hang.
They can't hang. And then they just fired their coach, Frank DeBoer. I actually shouldn't say fired. They mutually agreed to part ways. So they were going to fire him either way, but Frank DeBoer just didn't want to make it look bad on himself. But anyway, Portland LAFC rounding out 1-2. Same thing with LA Galaxy. Chicharito with the injury. Not that matters because he is a bum. They did not win a game either. In fact, they got obliterated in all their games. So, yeah.
It's crazy. So, what do you think the best matchup of this first elimination here is between these teams?
Oh, easy. Seattle LAFC. That was the Western Conference Finals matchup last year, and it was a really good game. And they actually played tonight at the day of this recording.
Right.
That's going to be an insanely good game. Seattle is built for moments like this. Their offense is starting to pick up. Jordan Morris is heating up in this tournament. Nick Ladero and Raul Ruidiaz are starting to get their connection back again. LAFC is proving that they don't need Carlos Vela to win games. LAFC has been the highest scoring MLS team in this tournament right now, and that's without their reigning MLS MVP. They can't defend for shit, which I knew was going to happen once they traded Walker Zimmerman. LAFC isn't going to be able to defend anybody. Seattle can, which is why I'll give Seattle the edge there. But I think it's going to be a really high-scoring affair, and LAFC is still proving they can hang with the best of them, and they're basically like Kansas City in the NFL. We're just going to dare you to score more goals than we do. So, and that's just kind of been their philosophy. It still should be a good game. So those are two really good rivals, two pretty evenly matched teams for the most part. I think both are going to bring a lot of great pace. They're going to bring a lot of speed. I think it's going to be the most exciting matchup. And that's on at, that's on at 10 p.m.
Yeah, that's late.
It is late. I do hate how late that is. But I am going to watch it. That's going to be a good game.
I think Minnesota's game tomorrow's on it.
They played 7 tomorrow, actually.
Really?
Perfect.
Fun time.
Right. I mean, if they would have played it today, I still would have watched. But
That's fair.
I'm a little nervous for that game tomorrow. But just still, I think Minnesota will put up a pretty good fight. At least I like to think so.
Hopefully.
I'm hoping so, too.
I've not heard good chances for them, though.
Yeah, Columbus is definitely the heavy favorites. They're probably the team in best form right now. I mean, they're just playing the best right now. Haven't given up a goal this whole MLS tournament. Their defense with Milton Valenzuela back in the lineup and Harrison Awful, who is not awful, by the way. That's his actual name, Harrison Awful.
I hate that name.
I do too, but he's actually quite good. And they're playing really, really well. They're Lucas Zeloran, who didn't play the last game, but they still won. He is looking like an MVP contender right now. Darlington Nagbe has probably been the player of the tournament right now. In terms of his production, he's completed 98% of his passes in this MLS Cup tournament, completing 85% scoring chance passes. That's an important stat. They're just kind of just dominating right now. They're outpacing everyone. Mukhtar has a couple goals in this tournament, and he's been looking like a really good, solid winger for that team. And they're just looking like a team that can compete anybody, put up some goals, and they can defend with the best of any of them. Which sucks because that means Minnesota's going up against their favorites, but I think Minnesota has a chance. Defense is still the best in Major League Soccer, even without Ike Opara. We just can't score goals. We're just struggling to score goals right now.
Hopefully they get back on the right track.
We better pick it up quick, or we will not be playing after tomorrow.
Well,
any questions about Major League Soccer, guys?
So, this is a bad question.
No such thing.
But why in the world do they still count up? I get like it's a traditional thing.
It's just how they've always done it.
Why can't they just make it like any other sport in the world?
If I had $1 for every time I've got asked that question, as if I was the one, and this isn't you, I'm just ranting because I've been asked this question so many times. If I had $1 for every single time, and if people ask me as if I invented the rules of soccer, I don't know. I will tell you the same thing I tell everyone. I don't know.
Another thing.
But you're supposed to be in the know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I do not know why they still count up.
Why don't they stop the clock when instead of just
again, average Joe Schmo who just thinks I invented soccer? I don't know.
Well, you should find out.
Those were bad questions, but at least they weren't awful questions.
Follow us at Harrison Awful.
How is he doing?
You
just said he was good.
Oh yeah, no, he's playing.
Making sure he wasn't awful.
No, he's doing quite well, and he's kicking some ass right now. So
I hate this one. I hate
I'm trying to keep up.
I'm keeping up on Twitter. I'm not watching the thing.
Update. Do you have any updates on the list?
Yeah, top 100. So 60 Logan Ryan, 59 Odell, 58 Kirk Cousins, 57 Devontae Adams, and 56 DeForest.
Wait. Where's Devontae Adams?
57.
What?
I know, right?
What?
Why is Kirk Cousins on the list?
Well, he should be.
Is it actually Kirk Cousins?
It's Kirk Cousins. That's why I put the question mark. Why the hell is he 58?
Because Kirk Cousins is a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. He should be on that list. But Devontae Adams being that low?
Top 15 quarterback in the NFL would be... I mean, there probably won't be 15... the top 15 in every position in the NFL.
No, but quarterbacks are a little bit different. But Kirk Cousins should be on that list.
And Devontae Adams is way too low.
Yes.
Devontae Adams is a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah, top 5.
He's number 5, but he's top 5.
Top 5. No one's gonna. If you say top 5, unless they actually ask you, no, he's a top 5 receiver in the game.
Julio, Thomas, D-Hop, pick your 4th. Could be Devontae there or Devontae 5. I don't care. He's 4 or 5.
Yeah. My top 5: DeAndre, Julio, Mike, Devontae at 5, and then I'll have Tyreek. But honestly, you can convince me with Devontae at 4. You could convince. Sorry, Keenan Allen, but Tyreek Hill's in my top 5.
I have Keenan Allen in my top 5. I don't have Tyreek.
Oh, of course. Hasn't talked about Keenan Allen for months, and all of a sudden, just Keenan Allen's calling people out left and right.
Hate it.
You hate to see it.
But when we're talking about the list, so the top 100's going on right now in the NFL. If you remember last year, there was quite some heated discussions about disagreements with it.
Who was number 1 last year?
It was Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald. Nobody disagreed with
Brady
that.
too?
Brady was not very high last year, I don't think.
Did Brady actually take a hit last year? Mm-hmm. So I know one of the years Brady was 1, another one of the years Brady was 2. And I know the year Brady was 2, people were pissed about it. I think that was 2 years ago.
So what do y'all think about Ryan Tannehill being so much higher than the likes of our friend Kyler Murray?
I mean, Ryan Tannehill had a good year last year.
He did. And Kyler Murray is still a rookie.
I feel like because Ryan Tannehill is going to have pretty much the same offense, he's going to be able to run it well, and he's going to have a whole season. There was actually a talk, like, if Ryan Tannehill would have taken over, at the start of the season, not halfway through the season like he did, there was a talk about potentially Ryan Tannehill in the MVP race.
Yeah, and then he didn't play like that in the playoffs.
Well, he didn't play like that for the second half of the game against the Chiefs. Is realistically what happened.
They got blown out. Yeah, because again, Tennessee is good, but it's they don't win a Super Bowl. Ryan Tannehill's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's just not. You can't win a Super Bowl by being a run-first football team.
I feel like there's somebody in history that can prove you wrong.
What?
The Ravens can. They can do it this year, but I think Lamar Jackson, who's still a quarterback.
Would you count the Super Bowl 50 Broncos that run for his team?
No, they're a defense first.
They're just a defensive team. Their offense was kind of in a sputter.
To be fair, the
2013 Broncos team. Good.
Who was their running back though? Wasn't that just the Peyton Manning air show though?
Well, C.J. Anderson.
They still had C.J. Anderson back then? Where is C.J. Anderson right now?
A free agent. He was recently a
Ram,
yeah.
Yep, he was a big reason why we made it to the Super Bowl.
Well, no, he was somewhere else in between free agency and the Rams.
He was.
I want to say the Lions.
It was the Lions. It was. The Lions.
Actually, he's a Panther.
He's a Panther right now?
No, he's a free agent right now.
Or he was a Panther before?
He was a Panther.
He was a Bronco, a Panther, a Raider, a Ram, and a Lion.
Anyway, talking about the top 100 list. Fun fact, so 5 of the Philadelphia Eagle players made the list. All of them were below 73. And there would be no Philadelphia Eagles higher.
Wait.
5 players from the Eagles made the list, and they're all below 73. And those are the only Eagles on the list. It's Brooks at 98, Jason Kelce at 94, Darius Slay at 92, Zach Ertz at 85, and the highest rated Eagle is 73, Fletcher Cox. Carson Wentz did not make the list this year. No, he did not.
That's all fucked up.
And Kirk Cousins did.
Yep.
Now that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's fucked up. Now that's fucked up that Ryan Tannehill's on that fucking list. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Carson Wentz is a top 5 quarterback in the league, dog. Oh my. Oh my lord.
Oh, no one's leaving.
Number 55's fucked up too. Is Zach Martin.
God.
55.
Y'all are sleeping on Carson. What the fuck?
They were just like, oh, just lay on his hip wrong, then he'll be fine. Defensive players playing against Carson.
Okay, so what are you saying? So there was 5 Eagles.
5 Eagles made the list this year.
And the highest was 73.
Highest was 73, Fletcher Cox. Because I remember they released what team got the most, and the Saints and the Ravens have 7 this year. The Packers, Cowboys, Steelers, another team, don't quote me on this, had 6 this year, and then Eagles were one of the 5 ones. I actually looked for the article that said exactly how many teams had what. I looked for an hour today and could not find the stupid thing. It was just like a really quick post on the NFL app I saw, but...
Yeah.
That's awful. Anything that I officially do not like this. I am officially pissing on this list.
So a couple other players that I think we've all kind of talked about maybe being too low or too high. Ryan Ramczyk, the Saints tackle, one of the best tackles in the league, falls way down at 82 behind DK Metcalf, who wasn't even the best rookie receiver last year. But I presume A.J. Brown at this point hasn't made the list, because if OBJ, Keenan Allen, and Devontae Adams are on the list...
Keenan Allen's too low, straight up.
Oh, Keenan Allen's way too low, but there's no way A.J. Brown's going to be on this list higher than Devontae Adams.
No, which he should be if DK's on the list. You know who else is like way too high?
Who?
Every quarterback mentioned on this list so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know who's not
on
because you know who's not on the list? Carson Wentz.
You know, there's probably, if Carson Wentz isn't on the list, how can you justify...
It's Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, or Kyler Murray.
Or even like a Dak.
Or even Dak, because Dak's going to be on there.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins, for me, is light years above Dak Prescott. No, stop. Don't get me... Stop.
Kirk?
Don't get me started.
Don't get me started.
Don't get me started tonight! No. Carson Wentz is better than Kirk.
Oh,
Kirk Cousins, or Dak... Carson is better than Dak. Carson's better than Kyler. Carson is better than every quarterback that is on this list so far. That's all I have to say about
Remember
that.
when we thought Tyler Lockett was going to be Russell Wilson?
I would have been pissed.
Russell Wilson should be a top 5 player, personally, but...
Where do you have Carson Wentz on your quarterback rankings?
5. Or no, let's see. Patrick, Russell, Lamar, Carson Rodgers. Yeah, I have him 4. I think he's the 4th best QB in the NFL. He does everything elite.
I think I have him like 5 or 6, because I have Rodgers above this.
So,
I have Rodgers at 5.
Your boy Stephon Diggs just crawled in at 54.
Attaboy!
Oh shoot! I was 5 spots short of where the
above Devontae Adams.
Oh, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yay,
that's awful.
attaboy.
That's awful. That is awful.
I'm jigging that one.
That is awful.
Attaboy.
I'm not.
But do you think it takes the fact that Devontae was hurt for 6 games last year?
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. No, but here's the thing though. If it's going into next year, injuries shouldn't matter, right?
Injuries always do matter for this list, though.
And I think that's too... No, but if it's the list going into next... If it was the list from, like how they played last year, then yeah, that's fine. But if it's, like, who are the best players going into next year, I will take Devontae Adams or Stephon Diggs any day of the week.
So, it's from the player's point of view.
Yeah.
That's the players looking at last year's things to figure out who they're most afraid of for this next year.
God, and I still feel like that shouldn't matter, because even with injuries, I would still go into next year like, wow, I have to guard Devontae Adams next year. Fuck, that sucks.
Yeah.
And I would be like, fuck, that sucks more than I would be like, fuck, that sucks, I have to guard Stephon Diggs. Again, I'd still be like, damn, that sucks, bro, but I'd be like, wow, I'm pissing myself looking at Devontae Adams.
Well, yeah.
But then you realize you're Stephon Gilmore and you can just guard them all.
This is true. But let's say I'm not. Let's say I'm.
Let's
say I'm Xavier Rhodes.
Oh well, then you're just scared if they throw
open.
If they throw
I'm scared if I'm guarding Cole Beasley.
I'm scared if I'm guarding Laquan Treadwell.
Ew, Nelson Aguilar.
That was the worst receiver that could come to my mind was Laquan Treadwell.
Oh, the Nelson Aguilar.
I'd rather have Nelson Aguilar, 100%.
Oh yeah, easily. What about Arcega White?
But Matt Ryan, guys.
Oh my God, Matt Ryan's not going to be on this list either.
He might.
He might.
He still has a chance.
But
he's way too high.
No, it depends on where he's at. Because Matt Ryan's a top 10 QB in the NFL.
Well, I would assume Matt Ryan will be on today, so he won't be above 40.
He's either not going to be above 40 or he's not going to be
The thing is, though, it's just, God, the fact that Carson's on that list is crazy.
For people tracking, we're going to have up to 40 tonight. Tomorrow they're going to do up to 10, and then on Wednesday they're going to do 10 to 1. And it's going to be a 2-hour-long special about everybody.
But, yeah, so the NFL is going on. You want to try to give Stephon Diggs' former team's coach this week a call, see if he answers?
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
No.
Guys, am I just missing something with Carson Wentz? Am I missing something?
No.
I don't think I am. I
mean, I do think you think a little highly of him.
Why?
But
name something he's bad at.
I'm not saying that like.
I knew someone was going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
I couldn't not.
No. I said that like knowing that would be an answer, but I still said it anyway because I'm like, it'll be a funny meme. Strictly for meme purposes. But still, Carson Wentz does nothing bad.
So if you're curious, Devontae was the 4th highest wide receiver rated last year via PFF.
Ew. No, like ew that he's that low.
Yeah. I think it was Julio, Michael Thomas, T. Hop, and Tyreek.
Yo, where's Ethan at?
The other one? Later. 10 years. 10 years later.
Fair.
Space Ranger.
But they have to kick penalty kick?
Yeah, they do, but they'll make it. They pretty much always do. That's a good ball by Magnus Eriksson.
Alright, do you guys want to continue now?
Yeah, just try calling back later. I texted him, so we'll find out.
Alright. So we did. Do you want to do basketball next time?
Sure.
We were talking about the list, unless there's more things we want to talk about.
Well, did we talk about DeForest Buckner, Zach? We talked about Zach Martin, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We really didn't talk about those players. We just talked about my rant on Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Magnus Eriksson lines up and converts.
Go!
Alright, I'll start it then.
Viva Kansas City. Alright?
No, San Jose.
I don't like that team. I'm going with Kansas City.
Kansas City already advanced.
Alright, so as we know, the NFL Top 100 list is going to pick 40 tonight. And it's going on right now as we record. So where we are at right now, they're doing 60 through 50 right now. 60 is Logan Ryan, who's actually a free agent still.
I don't get how.
He played phenomenally last year for the Titans.
I think it's his choice, not a team's choice.
So he wants to get paid like top 10 corner money, and there's not a lot of teams that need a good corner that have a lot of money.
Oh, they have a lot of money. Yeah.
And I think he's okay sitting out until he
gets
paid. But even if you're Tennessee, I guess I don't know how much money Tennessee has.
Tennessee's broke.
Yeah, especially after paying Tannehill and Henry.
Next at 59 we have Odell. So it goes Jarvis at 61, Logan Ryan, then Odell. So back-to-back leading receivers pretty much. 58 we have an $80 million disappointment at Kirk Cousins. At 57 we have a horribly ranked, one of the worst rankings so far on the list is Devontae Adams at 57.
Yeah, that's
you
awful.
just tweeted LOL whatever. I guess
he was the 4th highest rated per Football Focus. I do realize he was injured 6 games, which is a third of the season.
That's still true. Peyton Manning once made it 50 without playing the whole season.
I think Adrian Peterson once made it on the list without playing the whole season.
Exactly.
56 DeForest Buckner. I'm okay with that one. I don't see any problem with that. 55 Zach Martin. 54 a shitty wide receiver, and then 53 Marcus Peters.
Yeah.
Spawn Diggs. Hello.
Spawn Diggs is not better than Devontae Adams.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And that's
You
better than
want to do your thing?
Yeah.
I would agree with that statement.
Perfect. Well, hold on. Let me put you on speaker.
Why is Keenan Allen the best wide receiver? Well, sorry, the second
All
best
right.
wide receiver that's been
coming to us
said
live from an undisclosed location? Ethan.
Hello.
Yo!
So, first we gotta preface it. So how did you get this Vikings job here?
Please tell us the whole story.
How did I get them?
Yep.
I got drunk last Monday and I begged you guys to let me do the Vikings.
Awesome.
Alright.
That's how.
Perfect. So,
I
who
am
filled
of
out...
age. I am 21.
That's fine.
You should never drink underage.
Never.
True. So, who filled out what you're gonna do? Drunk Ethan or sober Ethan?
Well, mix of both.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
I'm excited.
Well, let's get started here then.
Okay. So, and I will say, obviously, when I asked to pick them, that was before Mike Zimmer got his contract extension. So I did kind of plan for that. So my first part is more of a a different scenario than what happened. Personally, I like Mike Zimmer. I think he's a great defensive-minded guy, but I would not have rehired him as the head coach of the Vikings. I think that was a terrible move by the Vikings. I don't think he will be there his entire contract. I honestly think he'll probably be gone in 2-3 years tops.
Really?
I mean, like I said, I like him. I think he'd make a great defensive coordinator somewhere. He's just not a head coach.
Ethan, I have a question.
Yes.
Why does it sound like you have a lisp right now?
Probably because I am super sick.
Uh-oh.
That could be it. It sounds like you have a mad lisp right now. It's kind of funny. But carry on.
Yeah, I almost died last night. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
Don't do that.
That sucks.
Yeah, 16 shots and 6 cocktails really fuck you up.
Dude, those cocktails will really get you.
Yeah. But anyways, we can get back to the Vikings. But like I said, the Mike Zimmer thing I didn't like personally. I think he's a great defensive-minded guy. Like I said, he's more of a defensive coordinator in my opinion. He just doesn't do very well with the offense. Especially when you have a guy like Rick Spielman as your GM who's constantly bringing in good offensive pieces and Zimmer just doesn't know how to utilize them. Yeah, that was my first move. Is I would not have extended Mike Zimmer. I would have let him play out this year and then possibly negotiate with him after this season, just depending on how this year goes. But my first, I guess, player side of things, and I will say with this too, I would have not re-signed Everson Griffin. I don't think the Vikings should. I definitely think the Vikings should start their youth movement now while they can, because right now that division is going to be hard to win with. The Packers and the Bears. I definitely think the Vikings can be the best team in that division. But why do you want it to be the most difficult time right now with the Packers, trying to get one last run with Aaron Rodgers, and then the Bears defense is still scary good, and, they brought in Nick Foles. If Nick Foles can play up to his potential, that's going to be scary. So, yeah, the first thing I would do is definitely start the youth movement in Minnesota, just so you can prepare for another 4, maybe 5 years out till you're a real contender. But with that, my first thing I'd do is I'd cut Riley Reif. Riley Reif I think he's a bad offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Statistically, he's an average offensive lineman. He's nothing special.
He's a major hit to the cap, though.
But yeah, he makes $11 million a year.
Jeez.
And that's borderline franchise tackle money, and he's definitely not a franchise tackle. And especially with the Vikings cap situation right now, I think they went into this offseason with like $4 million in cap. So yeah, they are very strapped for cash. And they obviously had to give Anthony Harris the franchise tag. I think his franchise tag is like $14.5 million. You got guys like Harrison Smith that are going to have a contract coming up. You're going to have Eric Kendricks coming up again. Well, I guess he got extended last year, so not so much him. But just a lot. Obviously Dalvin Cook threatened to sit out if we don't extend him, which I don't think will happen, because I think he realizes the running back market is so bad right now that he needs to play, otherwise he's not going to get paid.
Especially with Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry signing deals recently, and not like insanely a large amount deals. I think Dalvin Cook's in a position where he can't just sit out and get a lot of money.
Exactly. And here's my thing: do I think Dalvin Cook's a great running back? I really do. I do. I think he's a great running back. I think he has potential to be a top 3 running back in the league. But he's definitely not Christian McCaffrey level when it comes to, the passing game and stuff. He's definitely not a game-changing running back like Derrick Henry. Like Derrick Henry can take over a game because he's 6'3" and he can just run people over. Dalvin Cook is just, he's risky too, because obviously he is yet to play a full season in the NFL. I think in his 3 years so far, he has, I think, like 23 career starts.
Yeah. No, you don't want to give a lot of money to a guy who can't stay healthy.
Exactly. I mean, it's too risky, especially when you see the running back market. The Vikings could let Dalvin Cook go after this year and go sign like Devonta Freeman for way less, or even a draft.
Plus, we were talking about the running back market next year is insane.
Oh, it's stacked.
Yeah.
You got was it Leonard Fournette,
Chubb, Philip Lindsay,
Aaron Jones. Chris
exactly.
Carson.
A lot of running backs are going to be without a home next year. And I actually think Dalvin Cook knows that, and I think that's why he refuses, or he's not going to sit out anymore, is I think that he plans on playing so he at least knows he's going to have a job next year.
That's fair.
I mean, yeah, because the dumb thing for him to do is to sit out for this year, because then he's going to go into a free agency market with a lot of good running backs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's already great running backs on the market right now that are easily 1,000-yard rushers. Not to mention the whole committee thing in the NFL anymore. You don't pay a single running back. Look at the 49ers. They almost won a Super Bowl off of 3 different running backs.
Fair.
You know, or as even dumb as it sounds, you know, look at the Redskins. The Redskins have plenty of running backs. You know, there's nothing stopping the Vikings from sending a 5th or 6th round draft pick for, you know, a 1-year Adrian Peterson rental if, you know, Dalvin Cook comes in.
Whoa! Shoot. Run it back, Minnesota. Run it back.
I'd love to see Adrian Peterson come back as a Viking. I think it'd be awesome. I think he realized that he is not a franchise running back anymore, and when he left to get his revenge game with the Saints, I think he realized that he's not quite the running back he used to be. But I think he's definitely an 800-900-yard rusher. I think, you know, he might have that Frank Gore effect where, he's not going to in the top 10 rushing yards, but I think he could get, you know, 700-800 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns a season. You know, you pair that with another running back like Alexander Madison, who would get you another 800 yards, you know, 5-6 touchdowns. So,
fun fact about Alexander Madison, he averaged the same amount of yards per carry as Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, exactly. Not to mention the Vikings spent a 3rd-round draft pick on him. Like, he was a 3rd-round pick, so he wasn't necessarily... He was brought in for a reason. Like, he was brought in because the Vikings didn't know what they had in Dalvin Cook. I mean, obviously it shows that Dalvin Cook is definitely an elite running back, but is he worth elite money? No, not this early in his career, considering he's never started 16 games. You know, and to be fair, I will give Dalvin credit to Cook. He does a lot with what his offensive line gives him. Because the Vikings' offensive line has been subpar at best the last couple of years. You know, and like I said, that's why But that's something that the Vikings need to do is definitely get rid of Riley Reif right away. I think that's a smart move. Because they drafted Ezra Cleveland in the 2nd round this year, so you have him there. I think the other thing they got to do is they either need to trade Pat Elflein or they need to cut him. Pat Elflein is terrible. I think he got like the 3rd most pressures last year by any offensive lineman. He's a terrible offensive lineman. You know, and I think Garrett Bradbury will benefit from a better left guard. You know, I think you would get a nice little, you know, boost to his, you know, performance when you have a better offensive lineman next to you. So, I mean, outside of that, I mean, you have a great tackle in, oh, no, I can't think of his name, Brian O'Neill at right tackle. You know, he's a great player, super athletic. You know, he was a tight end, I think, for 2 years in college. Then he's converted to an offensive lineman, so super athletic. And then you got Drew Samaya out of Oklahoma from last year. I think he could be a good player. And then, like I said, Garrett Bradbury at center and Ezra Cleveland at left tackle. So I think, for the most part, the offense, like I said, just start the youth movement there, especially because I just think that offense with Kirk Cousins just won't work, at least not for the next couple of years, because that division is going to be tough to win in, especially with, you know, the Packers. Like I said, they're probably going to try to make one last big run with Aaron Rodgers, then they'll probably blow it up. And then the Bears are probably going to blow it up here in the next 2-3 years if they can't do anything with Nick Foles. You know, obviously they're not going to do shit with Mitchell Trubisky.
Mitchell Trubisky's going to win MVP this year.
Yes, sir, Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch Trubisky is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
Mr. Biscuit, MVP.
Comeback player of the year, Mitch Trubisky.
Nope.
Again, worst starting quarterback in the league.
Of the division, I think the NFC is going to be really hard to win this year because you got Seattle. Obviously, they just traded for Jamal Adams. They're going to be tough to beat. You have the Cardinals, who have an explosive offense now that, you know, is probably going to finish as a top 10, you know, offense in the league. And our defense definitely isn't ready for something like that. So So, yeah.
You're only forgetting.
I know you keep talking about a lot more about other teams, so I'll get back to actual Viking stuff. So, like I said, first move I would do is I'd cut Riley Reef. He is not as good as his contract is. Even if, I guess I wouldn't mind them keeping him if somehow they restructured his contract, but he's just not worth the $11 million he's getting paid. He's just terrible. So, yeah, then the next thing I would do is I would honestly look to possibly trade some of the cornerbacks the Vikings have on their roster. I know it sounds dumb because they just lost a bunch of cornerbacks, but the one thing, and this is why I don't necessarily like Zimmer to a certain extent, is he always has too many good cornerbacks on his roster. I mean, last year, obviously, nobody saw the decline of Xavier Rose. Like, I don't think anybody saw that coming.
What are you talking about? He was a Pro Bowler.
You have Trey Waynes, who was a first-round pick. You have Mackenzie Alexander, who was a second-round pick. You have Mike Hughes, who was a first-round pick. And last year, you had Xavier Rose, who was a first-round pick. So you have 3 first-round picks and a second-round pick in the cornerback depth chart room when you don't need that many, you know? And now this year they have, I can't remember who they drafted in the first round, but in their later first-round draft pick, they drafted a corner. Then they got Cameron Dantzler in the third round. So now you're sitting here with Mike Hughes, Cameron Dantzler, the first-round pick, and Holton Hill. You have way too many. So I would personally look to trade one of them just to even get like a 5th or 6th-round draft pick. Because I think that it would be smart for them to just realize what they have and start moving forward with that. I personally look to see, as dumb as it sounds, what they could get for Mike Hughes, because I think Mike Hughes, I just don't see Mike Hughes ever being a number 1 cornerback, and he's maybe a number 2 at best, and that's a little iffy. He just like he struggles in zone and man coverage. He just looks like he gets confused out there sometimes, which, granted, I know he's young, and it was his rookie year last year, but I just think they need to get rid of him and just start over with that defense. Which then brings me to the next point. Obviously, they brought in a guy like Michael Pierce this offseason after Linval Joseph left. So, the important thing for them now is to find that number 2 defensive tackle. And they have a really good player on their roster, Armin Watts. He's a great athlete. He's probably 6'2", 6'3", 340, 325, somewhere in there. But, I mean, amazing athlete. Like, he's got good strength. He's pretty agile for a guy his size. So I think that they just really need to develop somebody like him to be a number 2 on that defensive line because, you know, we lost Linval Joseph this last year. Shamar Stephen, the Vikings have brought back a couple times the last couple of years, but he's honestly nothing special. I think he's just a veteran presence when we don't really need him. So yeah, that'd be my next move, is just develop your defensive tackle number 2, because the Vikings historically run a 4-3 defense. So I just think that it would be smart for them to start developing that defensive line now, because Michael Pierce is somebody who could be around the next 4 or 5 years for the Vikings. So I believe he's only like 27 years old, and they have him in for a 3-year deal. So yeah, I think the Vikings can definitely build a good defensive line, especially when you have, you know, someone like Danielle Hunter, who's an amazing athlete, probably one of the most underrated defensive players in the league. I say he's a dark horse to win Defensive Player of the Year this next year, but that's just me. But, yeah, because that brings me back to the Everson Griffin thing. I definitely don't think they should bring back Everson Griffin. And if they do, I would only give him, like, a 1-year deal, and I wouldn't even start him. I would personally bring Everson Griffin as maybe as, like, an edge rusher, like a Chandler Jones type of situation, where, you know, he plays a little bit of stand-up linebacker, you know, he can play on the line, but I just don't want him taking a roster spot from, you know, someone like Afadi Ogdenebo. I didn't know if you guys didn't know. You guys probably didn't know this because you guys probably don't watch much of Vikings games, but
I watched 2 years.
Starts last year, Afadi Ogdenebo had 7 sacks.
Who?
Ogdenebo.
Afadi Ogdenebo.
Huh.
Dang.
Yeah, he's a great player. He pairs up great with Danielle Hunter. So, yeah, I just think they need to develop their defensive line a little bit better because it just always seems like there's a weak link on that defensive line. You know, obviously, it was 2 or 3 years ago now they brought in Sheldon Richardson, and for a while it looked like that defensive line was going to be unstoppable. You know, you had Everson Griffin, Neil Hunter, Paul Joseph, and Sheldon Richardson. Like, that defensive line was nasty good. But it showed they didn't develop it good enough, and that season was terrible. I think the Vikings finished 8-8 that year.
I mean, that's 8-8's not bad.
Oh, yeah, it's not bad. We missed the playoffs.
I mean, you will this year, too, but...
I mean, I could see it. I could definitely see it. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think the Vikings are going to struggle this year. And that's why I said I think they should start their youth movement now and get ahead of Green Bay, get ahead of Chicago.
Whoa, you
Detroit
can't get
ain't never
ahead
going
of
to
Green
do
Bay.
nothing in that division.
Green Bay's in a win now mode, but drafting a quarterback in the first round, you
they're
can't get ahead
already
of Green
drafting
Bay.
for their future. You can't get ahead of Green Bay. They got their next franchise guy just sitting there waiting.
Oh yeah, 4 years, Jordan Love's going to walk off that bench, and he's going to be the next.
4 years.
That's how long Rodgers was on the bench for.
Jordan Love is going to stay there for 4 years.
I'd be more surprised if Aaron Rodgers was retiring in 4 years.
Well, his contract's up in 3, so.
But, yeah, anyways, I just think the Vikings are probably the weakest of the 3 in the NFC North. The real contenders, you know.
Yeah.
Lions are going to win the Super Bowl just because he said
a lot of
that.
good talent. They have, at least in Duncan Knows, in my opinion, one of the best safeties in the league in Harrison Smith. And then you have, Eric Kendricks, who is one of the best linebackers in the league. It's hard to want to rebuild, when you have pieces like that. But it's just hard when, unfortunately, when you have a coach like Mike Zimmer who doesn't know how to control an offense very well, that you just kind of got to rebuild. And that's why I said extending Zimmer, I think, was a bad idea. Because I'd prefer the Vikings to go with a more offensive-minded head coach. I don't know which coaches are going to be on the market this next year.
Oh, the Chiefs' offensive
a few of them probably would have been a better upgrade than Mike Zimmer, so... Like I said, I don't want you guys to think I hate Mike Zimmer or anything. I just don't think he's the coach for the Vikings. I think he'd be a great defensive coordinator, not a great coach. But so now saying develop your second defensive tackle, just with youth movement, get rid of one of your cornerbacks. Another thing I do, trade Anthony Harris. I know the Vikings tried, and I know the article came up that the Giants tried trading for him. But, I think they need to trade Anthony Harris because he's not going to get paid in Minnesota. I know he's not. Vikings just don't have the cap space to do it. So I think they'd be smart and trade him to a team that needs safety help. I actually thought for a while, after Jamal Adams got traded to the Jets, I was like, it might not be a bad idea for the Vikings to try calling up the Jets and be like, hey, we'll trade you, Anthony Harris for an offensive lineman or, even like a 3rd or 4th round draft pick. So
you could maybe also shop him to the Cowboys who are interested in Jamal Adams.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is, a team like the Cowboys could definitely use him. I mean, there's a couple of teams that could use another safety. I know Arizona could probably use another safety. The Texans could use another safety. So, I mean, there's a couple of teams out there that could still definitely look to trade for him, but it's just a matter of, can you base 1 year of stats, for a valued player? Because that's the thing is Anthony Harris, he tied the league for most interceptions, but that was a breakout year, I mean, he statistically was one of the best safeties in the league, but, are you going to go off of 1 year and say he's worth a 2nd round draft pick, or are you going to look at his career and be like, yeah, but he's been a career backup most of his career,
Yeah.
So it's just going to be hard to move him, I think, especially, like I said, because he's on a 1 year franchise tag at $15 million.
Right.
So it's just going to be, I think it's going to be a little hard for the Vikings to move him, but I do think they need to. As much as I like him, I think he's a good safety and everything, but I think he kind of gets that Harrison Smith effect where Harrison Smith is just always covering the better safety, Harrison Smith is always covering the better receiver, the better tight end, and then Anthony Harris kind of gets the cleanup work. And I do think that probably contributed to him tying the league for league interceptions, so... But no, yeah, so the defense side, like I said, develop your number 2 defensive tackle, besides Michael Pierce. Look to trade one of your cornerbacks. I think they should either trade Mike Hughes, or maybe Holton Hill, because obviously you're not going to trade one of the guys you drafted this year. Trade Anthony Harris, and then, one thing I didn't talk about was they need to develop another linebacker, because obviously they have Anthony Barr and they have Eric Kendricks, who are probably there to stay for quite a bit longer, but they really haven't had a third great linebacker in a while. I mean, it probably goes all the way back to Chad Greenway when they had, a third starting quality linebacker, because most of the linebackers they put out the last couple of years have been, special teamers like Ben Gideon or Eric Wilson. So yeah, they definitely need to find a third outside linebacker. And I'll just never forget, during I think it was the 2016-2017 draft, I really wanted the Vikings to draft Miles Jack. He's on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because Barr, Kendricks, and Miles Jack all played at UCLA for one season, so I thought it would have been cool to get all three of the UCLA linebackers. So, but yeah, that is something. Sean Lee isn't retired yet, right? I think he's still active.
I don't know.
He's still active.
So yeah, and that was the thing, is like Ben said with the Cowboys, I thought of maybe a trade where you trade Anthony Harris and a 5th round pick for Sean Lee and 4th round pick or something, because I think it's a win-win for both teams. The Vikings get a third quality linebacker, and then the Cowboys get their safety. So, yeah, the defense side, like I said, it's basically filling holes that the Vikings have needed to fill the last couple of years. They just haven't. And I just think it'll help them for the long run if they develop them now, because Vikings definitely probably aren't in a win-now situation, just with that division and conference, because the NFC is going to be tough to win in this year. I think it's going to be hard for the Vikings to even get to the playoffs. Even if they do, they're going to lose to either Seattle in the first or second round, and it's not going to be fun. But the offensive side, I'll go through the offensive side a little bit quicker. But yeah, so someone like Kirk Cousins, I actually like Kirk Cousins. I think he played very well last year. I think he was underrated last year. I don't think he's our franchise quarterback, I really don't. But I think the biggest mistake they made was giving him that contract extension, because I think when his contract is up, he's going to be 34 or 35, which is that weird age for a quarterback where it's yeah, he's kind of old, but he's not, 40, 41, like Tom Brady or Josh McCown, where he could probably still get another 3-year contract. So I think the Vikings were smart for keeping him, but the extension they gave him, I didn't really like. I think they gave him a 3-year extension, which is just going to hurt him a little bit more down the road, especially with this offense. Obviously they traded Stephon Diggs, which I will personally say I'm kind of glad they traded him. We got a lot in return for him, and I think it will help the Vikings down the line. But the only crappy thing is I did see that Justin Jefferson today did get put on the COVID list or whatever, COVID exempt list, because he was around people that had COVID, so there's a possibility he got it, which would suck ultimately for the Vikings, because, that was their first-round draft pick.
Right,
he was supposed to be the, guy who was supposed to come in to replace Stephon Diggs, so that's going to be a little rough.
Plus, with limited team activities and no preseason, you want those guys to get as much...
Exactly.
You want them to get as much exposure with the team now. You want them to do as much team stuff now while they have the opportunity. So when you roll in week 1 and you have your opponents, you don't have Justin Jefferson, who is barely worked out with the team.
Exactly. Well, and the worst part is outside of Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, there is no certain wide receivers on that roster. I mean, they brought in Taj Sharp from the Titans this last year.
Oh, Tajay Sharp?
Yeah, Tajay Sharp, I mean, he's a good receiver, but I don't think he's a quality 2. I think he's more of that fringe number 3 kind of guy. So it's going to be hard for the Vikings to figure out that wide receiver depth chart, I think, outside of Thielen and Jefferson, especially if Justin Jefferson misses some game time. It's going to be really rough for him. But yeah, wide receivers, I think Adam Thielen, I think he's there to stay. Obviously, he was born and raised in Minnesota, so I don't see him leaving anytime soon. Kirk Cousins is probably going to play out his contract in Minnesota. I don't see them trading him. Dalvin Cook, like I said, I kind of touched on him earlier. I wouldn't pay him personally. I think that would be a dumb decision with the running back market the way it is. Obviously, I have C.J. Ham, who's one of the best fullbacks in the league. I think you keep him around. He's a great run blocker. He's a good receiving back out of the backfield when they need him. He can even line up a tight end if he needs to. So I'd keep him around for as long as you can. And then tight end, first thing I would do, as much as I love Kyle Rudolph, I think he's probably the greatest tight end the Vikings have ever had. I think they need to trade him. I was hoping they were going to trade him to New England, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore. It still could happen, I guess, but New England was probably the one place I thought that he could go before Tom Brady left, because I think Rudolph is basically a poor man's Rob Gronkowski. But I'd still try to trade him. I don't know if teams off the top of my head. I mean, Dallas could use a tight end, I know. You could trade him to Chicago just so Chicago could have like 30 tight ends again.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, they traded one of those. Now they only have 29.
But, yeah, I would definitely trade Kyle Rudolph. That would be one of my biggest priorities, I think. Especially just because I think he just turned 30 or 31, so he is starting to get up there in age, where he's not going to be as good as a player, obviously, in the next coming years, and it's going to be hard to pay a tight end when he turns 34, 35. So, yeah, definitely trade Kyle Rudolph as fast as you can. And then I said the offensive line, obviously, to start the youth movement there. You know, get rid of guys like Riley Reeve. I personally get rid of Pat Elflein. I don't think he's a good offensive lineman. Bradbury, Brian O'Neill, I think those are your franchise offensive linemen. Maybe Ezra Cleveland. We'll have to see this upcoming year for him. But no, yeah, I think overall the Vikings, like I said, I think the Vikings can compete. I definitely think I could see them winning, 10, maybe 11 games this year, maybe.
Yeah.
But I could also see them winning 6 games this year, to be honest with you.
I believe when a couple weeks back we did a season simulator kind of where we picked wins. I think I had the Vikings either going 9-7 or 10-6. I actually had them claiming that 7th playoff spot, the new one.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like I said, the Vikings, I think, honestly, are probably the team that benefits the most from the new playoff format.
Yeah.
Because they're always like a fringe playoff team every year,
Right.
So, yeah, it's definitely, they're going to benefit from it, but it's just like I said, I think our offense is still trying to get its steps in, obviously, especially with the offensive line changing every year, makes it even tougher, especially going up against, that defensive line in Chicago and Green Bay twice a year. That doesn't help, especially even Detroit to a certain extent. Detroit has a good good defensive line. So it's just going to be kind of tough. But yeah, wrapping thoughts on it. Like I said, I could see the Vikings winning 11 games. I could see them winning 6 games. And then I think that determines the future of basically most of the people on that roster, because if Zimmer goes 6-10 this next year, I think he needs to get the boot. But if he goes 10-6, maybe you hold on to him for another year. But overall, I just think the Vikings kind of need to pick a direction on what they're doing, because it kind of seems like they're in this weird purgatory of, well, we're good enough to win, but we're also bad enough where we could lose and get a top pick in the draft.
Right.
The year the Vikings went 13-3 with Case Keenum, it looked like the Vikings were real Super Bowl contenders, And then you go into that offseason, you go get Kirk Cousins, you think, oh my God, we have a legit shot. And then we fuzzled out and went 8-8. Or sorry, we went 7-8-1 that year, I think. It's like we had a tie.
Yeah, I think with the Vikings this year, it's going to be a lot of just seeing how it plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's the perfect way to describe this Vikings year, because how they do this season, I think, will honestly determine what they do in years to come. And so, like I said, if they truly believe that they can win now, I'd say go for it, I guess. But I'm going to be a realist as a Vikings fan. I truly think they just need to rebuild now. And then in 2-3 years, when, Chicago can't keep paying its players, when Green Bay can't keep paying their players, you know. And I mean, the one way to look at it is, you guys talked about Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers, or once Aaron Rodgers retires or, you know, his contract expires, you know, it's Jordan Love's turn. But, you know, there was once a legendary Green Bay Packers quarterback that decided he wanted one more shot at the Super Bowl and decided with Minnesota, so...
Are you saying...
No.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
I can see it. It would make perfect sense because he's not going to Detroit.
Aaron?
Get wasted there.
Could you imagine?
No.
Aaron's going to Minnesota?
Aaron Rodgers is going to retire. Jordan Love's going to step in, and the Packers are going to go seamlessly from 92 to 2030 with 3 quarterbacks.
Retired once as a Packer.
That'd be insane.
That would be insane.
That'd be literally insane.
Yeah.
And then in 15, 20 years, Jordan Love will do the same thing.
Oh.
The Packers will already have their next quarterback drafted and on the bench.
Yeah, be ready.
But yeah, like I said, Vikings definitely could be a contender. Well, here's the thing. Vikings definitely are not Super Bowl contenders this year just because the NFC is super difficult this year. They are playoff contenders, I think. You know, I think if they don't go against the Saints or the Seahawks in the first round, I think they have a shot to win a playoff game. But outside of that, I don't see them going far. I definitely don't see them making it to the championship game.
I think the Saints are hoping.
I think the Vikings, like I said, they're just in a weird purgatory right now. They're stuck between going 6-10 and 10-6. You know.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way that their team is right now. Like, they're good enough to compete. They're not good enough to win a Super Bowl, but they're not bad enough to, you know, win 4 games and get a top pick.
Fair.
So.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that was my Vikings franchise moment segment. So.
Well,
awesome.
Well, Ethan, we thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yes.
You can come on anytime you want. You can come here in person or call in. We're always looking for extra little take on things. So, thank you, Ethan.
You guys can come to my house and record an episode sometime.
Whoa!
Oh, we're gonna hold you to that.
All right.
You can't let Haley talk you out.
We'll have fun because you're all of age to consume alcohol.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Ethan.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Have a fantastic evening. Tre'Davious White, number 47, guys.
Tre'Davious White, 47.
Only at 47.
Zadarius Smith is 48.
Amari
So
Cooper's
both
49.
the Smith brothers made it.
Both Smith brothers.
Darius
So Jair's not on there.
Jair Alexander's not on this list, no.
No, there's no way he can be.
No. Because there's been 4 Packers now, so there's 2 more.
2 left, and it has to be...
It's going to be Rodgers and Jones. It's got to be Rodgers and Jones.
It's got to be Rodgers and Jones.
I honestly could see Aaron Jones not making it, to be
I
honest.
can see Aaron Jones not making it, Bakhtiari making it.
Bakhtiari's working on it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could see
So,
I could see
who would
Aaron
that
Jones
other guy
making
be
it.
The potential Packers could be Rodgers, Jones, Jair Alexander, Kenny Clark.
And Kenny, I think Kenny Clark's kind of out of the equation at this
So
point.
I'm guessing...
No, it's not after Chris Jones, because Kenny Clark would be probably lower than Chris Jones. It's got to be Rodgers and Jones. Aaron Jones would probably be here.
See, I think it's going to be Jair and Aaron.
Really?
Personally.
I mean, I can see Jair Alexander is a top 10 corner, I feel.
Because I feel like Aaron Jones gets so disrespected, he won't even make this list.
That's fair.
I would be upset if he didn't. If Todd Gurley could get fucking 50 and Aaron Jones...
no shit.
And Aaron Jones can't make this list? That is stupid.
I really wish our listeners could have seen Noah's reaction to
Noah had to
Todd
stand
Gurley.
up.
Stood up, crouched in the
away.
kitchen, looked back at the mic in disbelief, walked away again, came back, did a different position of disbelief. I was rolling.
He was upset for sure.
Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, Todd Gurley is not a top. He's not even a top 15 running back in the NFL right now.
Well, according to the players.
I don't think Todd Gurley would make it on my... Well, maybe my top 200 list he might make it. But
Yeah, top 200. Not top 100.
Nope.
I might put him 100.
Maybe at the
No.
bottom there.
No, I put him
Well, not if Chris Carson's 96.
Chris Carson
Exactly.
was 96.
He was 90-something.
I have a problem with
Can
that.
you imagine, especially, God, could you imagine if Aaron Jones doesn't make this
Yeah,
list?
Aaron Jones isn't going to make the
Chris
list.
Carson was 96, yeah.
If Chris Carson's 96, then who else have we had
For
for running backs?
Nobody.
Just Is
Josh Jones.
Josh Jacobs was 72.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
So Chris Carson 96, Josh Jacobs 72, Todd Gurley 50.
You'd have to do some convincing to get Aaron Jones on that list at this point.
Yeah, and that's kind of the shitty part, but that's so awful. This list is a joke so far.
A little bit.
Well, we'll get back to the list, but do you guys want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the cold sport or the dribbly sport?
Do we have to do our spin first?
Yeah, we got to spin.
So Ben's actually going to do it this week.
This week I will actually be doing
You
it.
throw me my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do it last week because Ethan drunkenly begged me to do the Vikings, so...
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no, there's
not a lot of
teams
teams left.
No, not
Ben has a chance
really.
to ruin one of our favorite teams.
1, 2, 3, 4... Is there 10 teams left?
9.
I just don't want the Rams. I want the Rams and the Bears. That's all I want.
I guess it's spinning now. Alright, I hit the button.
Spinning. Who you got?
No, keep going.
J.E.T. Oh, just lost Jamal.
J.E.T.
We're going to trade back for Jamal.
I kind of hope it was the Bears, but I'll take the Jets.
It's the
I
Jets.
almost got the Rams, which would have made Mo upset.
So, a little teaser for the Jets.
Trading back for Jamal.
What are you
Adams.
doing? You got a lot for Jamal.
So, yeah, we got a lot of draft picks for Jamal. Sam Darnold's definitely going to stay there, I can tell you that.
Okay.
They're going to probably trade for a receiver, because I don't... Again, you can probably tell me who the Jets receivers are right now.
Quincy Enunwa?
Nah,
Robbie Anderson is
not on the Jets.
Robbie Anderson's like the third string in Carolina right now.
No, he's probably the second.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't name a Jets receiver then, I guess.
I think it's
Quincy Enunwa?
Quincy Enunwa, and then
Jimmy Crowder, or whatever it is.
Jameson Crowder.
Jameson Crowder. I think he's the number one right now.
Demaryius Thomas still on the Jets?
He is
No.
I know he's not.
I keep up with my man Demaryius.
Do you think
Dak Prescott, 46.
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott, 46.
At this point, nothing surprises me anymore.
Nothing surprises you.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Please put Tim Tebow on this list now.
Dude, I'd love that. I miss me some Tim Tebow.
But like, if all the players write Tim Tebow down, they have to put him in.
They do.
Yeah? I just can't wait for Cam Newton to show up.
I would be done. I would be done with the end.
Quit.
You're not already done?
So we got, what,
Like 50?
4 picks left? Or 6?
6 tonight. Cause no, they'll go to
40.
We'll go to 40.
So 6 today.
6 today.
6 left. So we'll still be recording when that's over, probably.
I thought they were doing 41.
That could be.
Yeah, they'll probably because they'll probably start with 40. So they'll do up to 41 tonight.
Yeah. Okay. So 5 left.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting on the rest of the list to come out, we might as well jump over to basketball.
Yeah.
So this starts on Thursday, guys.
It absolutely does.
The scrimmages are going
so excited.
amazingly well.
They are actually.
I'm enjoying them. They're not quite regular games, but everybody is playing. Like, they're not like just slacking.
Yeah, not a lot of people. No one's really lost a beat.
It's pretty cool to see, and I'm excited for this Thursday.
Me too.
A couple things. Victor Oladipo, after opting out twice, is joined his team for the scrimmage games. So does that mean he'll be on the team for the bubble?
Well, yeah, I would think
Because
so.
he's in there, but he opted out of the season.
But then went to the bubble.
But then went to the bubble to support his team.
And has followed all the bubble regulations
and
and
is
rules.
now playing in the scrimmage games, but he did not announce that he's going to play.
He's going to play.
So, I don't know. That's interesting to see. But Zion's back in the bubble. He will be in the season opener, saving those Pelicans from a potential yikes situation there.
I don't know. Brandon Ingram might have been able to clutch one out.
Yeah, but if you didn't have Zion for the...
Yeah, Zion's your finisher.
You need Zion to be able to make it in the playoffs.
I understand you need Zion, but I'm saying for like a game or two, I feel like you could crutch off of Brandon.
I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. Brandon Ingram was really good.
Speaking of the Pelicans opener, who are the Pelicans playing?
The Jazz. The Rudy Gobert.
Do you like Jazz?
The coronavirus starter. Fun fact.
Are Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert on like good terms again?
Yeah.
I know that Donovan was pissed at Rudy.
See, apparently their relationship was always kind of bad before the whole thing started.
Yeah.
Huh.
But they've repaired it enough. I think it's going to be one of those situations, though, where one of them is going to,
leave.
Just,
Yeah.
Because they don't want to deal with it. I don't think it's going to be
recruited by LeBron.
I don't think it's going to be public, like the last altercation was. But I think there's definitely something going on. But we might as well bring back Pick'em. So, the opener.
Yeah, Jazz Pelicans.
So, I'll go first with my prediction for this game. And I think that since Zion is back, the Pelicans are going to win 123-114 in overtime.
See, even with Zion back, I believe the Jazz are going to have the upper hand in this very first game. So I have the Jazz winning 99-88.
Nice.
Second. All right, I got it. We're good. Okay, so defensive advantage for the Utah Jazz. I think that's going to matter against an inexperienced Pelicans team. We haven't seen Zion yet in the scrimmages, so I think he'll be a little shaky to start out. And for that reason, Jazz win 98-90.
Okay, to be fair, we didn't see Zion for a whole season, and he comes out and
after playing 3 really bad quarters.
Didn't Zion play in the first scrimmage game for a quarter?
He did, but then that's when he left.
Okay.
No, he never played the scrimmage games. That was before. Like, he left before, so he'll be shaky. If he's shaky even to start out the first half, Utah's good enough to take advantage, so Jazz with the win.
So, I think this game's going to be close. I really do. Especially with Zion being back. Before I had my score down, thinking Zion wasn't going to be back, I put that the Jazz was going to win 94-87.
Okay.
Which is kind of a stretch. But with Zion back, I think that Zion just being there when they didn't expect him to be there is going to be enough to just charge up that team. And with the likes of Brandon Ingram, Holiday, and Zion, they're going to be able to keep rolling. I still think it's going to be very close. Like, this is going to be a nail-biter, but 98-96.
Ooh.
Nolans.
Dang.
So we have, is that 2 Jazz, 2 New Orleans?
Yeah.
Yes.
Split down the middle, and I could honestly see it going either way.
Right. And actually, our other game that we'll be picking this week, the game of LA.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a real nail biter too. I think that's going to come down to be a really good game too.
Oh, I do too. So before we get to that game, we might as well talk about one player that's not going to be in the game because he decided he wanted to go see what's popping. Lou Williams.
Yeah. So
he'll be out for the first 3 games.
Yep. Because he decided that in the wake of his grandpa's funeral, that the thing he needed to cheer him up was to drive to Atlanta and eat some wings at a strip club.
Yeah, he was in Atlanta already, so it was on his way out.
Oh, it was on his way out. Okay.
It was on his way out. That's what he said.
It's
It's on
not
his way
as
out.
bad as everybody's seeing, but
Right.
this is
It's not
Corona
good.
time.
No.
No. If I was the Clippers, if I was Kawhi, P.
I'd be
Bev,
pissed.
Montrezl Harrell, Paul George even, I would not be happy with them
No, I wouldn't either.
at all.
And I think that's going to affect this first game here. Lakers,
I agree with that.
Especially start off the back against Lakers is probably going to be one of the hardest people you can play right away.
Right, well, if you've been watching the scrimmages, I think there's one right now, actually. Anthony Davis and LeBron are playing the full game right now.
Really?
And they're playing well, by the way.
They are ready to go. J.R. Smith's shooting like a J.R. Smith should.
Has J.R. Smith gotten confused about the score at all?
Not yet.
I don't think so, but his flops are amazing. God level right now. I was watching, I don't remember who it was against, but he got barely touched. He went to the ground, I was like, you're so good. But that, I've been watching a couple of those scrimmage games just because they're on NBA TV, and Lakers are looking scary. And I think that they are going to be easily contending just like we all thought they were. I have the Lakers winning the battle 126-102.
So I don't have quite as high of a scoring game, but I do have the Lakers coming up, and I believe I had the Lakers winning 103-99.
102-95.
102-95?
Yeah.
So I think the Clippers losing Williamson is definitely going to hurt them. I know obviously he's a bench player, and if you have LeBron and Anthony Davis coming off these hot scrimmages, I think they're going to roll in, and I think they're going to play great against the Clippers. And I know the Clippers are one of the teams that are picked to do pretty good here in the playoffs, but I still think the Lakers are going to take this first game.
Fair.
So I want everybody to remember Kawhi's still on the Clippers. So that's still a game changer right there.
Lakers
one
still
player.
LeBron. Lakers still LeBron though.
This is true.
I still have the Lakers winning. Don't get me wrong, but in most of this is a good matchup games that we saw with the Clippers during the regular season, they were high scoring games. So I have the Lakers winning 124-117.
Okay. I think the whole everyone not being fully there, I think it's going to matter. I think the Clippers are going to take a little bit to kind of get their focus back, because the biggest thing that they struggled with in the regular season was team chemistry, because they had players not playing, resting, whatever. That's going to be the case again here. The games have still been close. Still going to have Kawhi. Still going to have Paul George. I'm just going to give this advantage to the Lakers, because I think when it comes down to what's actually going to matter, that's when the Clippers will find their rhythm. I think the Clippers are going to take a few games to kind of find their stride. I could see Paul George struggling in this game, because they're doing well in the scrimmages, but then when there's intensity and actual defense being played, it will matter. I think it's going to be low scoring, because I think players are still going to be rusty. Clippers defense is still good. It'll be interesting to see how they're going to handle J.R. Smith and Deion Waiters, who I could see having good games in this go-around. Clippers haven't seen him yet this season. I have the Lakers winning 103-92.
Yeah, nice. So, let us know what you think the scores will be. And
please do.
Also, let us know what matchup you're most excited for in this starting NBA, opening to see who can reach the 8th seed. Let us know if you think that somebody's going to take that 8th seed away from the Grizzlies. I could see it going either way, honestly.
I think somebody's going to take that 8th seed.
You think the Grizzlies aren't going to make it?
I don't.
Why not?
I think it's going to go to a more experienced team with better players. Ja's really good, but that is a young and experienced team.
Damn it, that means no Pelicans, guys.
That does mean no Pelicans.
While we're on the topic of basketball, WNBA started this Saturday.
Yeah.
Highest viewers ever in a game on ABC. It's really cool.
So unfortunately, Sabrina Ionescu lost her first game.
She did not play very good either.
No, she struggled.
She did 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists.
Yeah, and everybody was expecting triple doubles off the
she's
gate.
the walking triple double. She shot 23% from the field. That's not
horrible.
good. 0 for 4 from 3-point range.
Especially for the player that's supposed to be
the transcending athlete.
God.
I'm sure she'll get better.
Right, it was the first game, and things are kind of weird.
It'll be fine.
But so that was cool to see. It was actually really cool to see how the WNBA is doing things compared to the NBA. They have a separate little bubble. They're even more open with the social justice type of deal.
Yeah.
Well, the NBA has Black Lives Matters on the court, so does the WNBA. And it seems like it's a little less PC at the WNBA. You have more able to voice what you want to do and all that. And I think that's really cool. And they're balling out. They're showing that the WNBA matters. It's not just, another thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool to see that they're stepping up during the moment.
We'd like to see that. So, do you guys want to move on to cold basketball?
Yeah.
Let's go on to cold basketball.
So we got the National Horse League.
Right.
We got some horse ice
Liking
skating
these
coming
horses coming up here.
Yeah, we got some good games, good series, right?
The
It's going to start with...
Oh, we're doing games. We switched it to games because we only have the ones that are playing Saturday.
Yeah.
We went back.
Yeah, we're good. There's some good series coming up.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, so we put Saturdays up there because it's the opening. Just kind of like the NBA, just kind of we did with the MLB yesterday or last week. Go back to the archives, SighSquadPod. Check that out. So we'll start out Rangers Hurricanes. So I have New York winning this one. I just think they're the better team. 4-2.
So it's interesting that you have the Rangers winning. The plus side of that is Artemi Panarin, who went to the Rangers in the offseason, is actually in line for NHL MVP. But I think the Hurricanes are going to be able to edge this one out with a kind of high-scoring game, actually, 6-5.
Yeah, I have the Canes winning as well. I think the Rangers will ultimately win the series, but I think this is going to be... Canes are going to set the pace. They have the better team. I think they'll win this game 3-2. What's the list looking like, guys? Any updates on this?
Oh, yeah. So if you guys are following the top 100 list, you have Dak Prescott at 46, J.J. Watt at 45, and Mark Ingram lands in at 44. And Noah's leaving the room again.
See you later, Noah.
So if you guys are tracking the running backs, Chris Carson was 96, Josh Jacobs was 71, fucking Todd Gurley was 50, and Mark Ingram was 44. So it doesn't matter anymore.
Aaron Jones isn't making that list, dog.
Aaron Jones isn't going to make that list, which makes me sad. Because I personally think he's better than all four of those running backs.
Potentially Josh Jacobs in the near future.
I don't know. I think Aaron Jones is better than any running back on the list so far.
That's fair.
BRB guys, my food's here. I already brought them.
Oh, wow. You didn't even tell us. Okay.
I didn't. I was hungry.
Anyway, so I'll go over my prediction for this first game.
Okay.
I originally done the series for all these, so I'm going to change them on the fly. So expect this to be wrong. I have the Hurricanes winning this first game because Hurricanes have a much cooler name than the Rangers.
I like it.
And I presume their jerseys are probably cooler because they're the Hurricanes.
A little bit.
So they're going to win 4-2.
I like it. Those horses going to be goaling it. What do you have, Brendan?
So, are we talking about our next game on the list?
Yeah.
Hurt.
So, this is Blackhawks at Oilers. And now,
Okay, start talking again.
anybody and their mom that knows anything about hockey is going to think that this is absolutely absurd that I would even suggest this. But I have the Blackhawks winning not only game one 5-2, but the series in a 3-2 matchup with the Oilers, only because in the regular season series the Blackhawks got the better of the Oilers, and every time the Blackhawks beat the Oilers, it was by a wide margin. The Oilers aren't their goaltender is fairly solid, but he's not shut out teams that have the likes of Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, and the list goes on. It's just not.
That's right.
So I'll go next for this next game.
Okay.
Blackhawks, Oilers. I don't know a lot about hockey. I do know the Blackhawks are one of the lower seeds.
Yeah.
They are the 12th seed.
And the Oilers are a higher seed.
They are the 5th seed.
So, one, the Oilers coming into the playoffs have a better record than the Blackhawks. Two,
Facts.
I'm from America, so I love oil.
Fitting.
And three, is Blackhawks racist? I don't know. That's why with my pick, I have the Hurricanes winning the first game 4-1.
Oilers.
There has actually been talks.
Hurricane, same thing.
Oh, I like it, man.
There actually has been talks about the Blackhawks changing their logo from the Native American figure to
the chief.
No. Oh, okay. To hawk, like an actual hawk.
Oh.
Because we already have our mascot, which is a hawk.
Right.
Anyways, so if we're just the Blackhawks and not the Blackhawks.
2-0 Oilers.
Oh.
Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid are going to establish why they are the better team.
Oh, okay.
They couldn't do it during the regular season.
It don't matter at this point.
I have 4-2 Oilers.
So the consensus.
And you
is
really expect the Oilers to shut out the best American hockey player in history.
I do, because even though Patrick Kane's really good, I don't think the Blackhawks are that good.
The Blackhawks proved that they can score. They just can't score more than the other teams.
That's why they're going to lose.
That's fair.
What's the next game?
Panthers versus Islanders. So I have it 3-2 Islanders.
Yeah, do you want to go next for this one, Brendan?
Yeah. So the Panthers, one of those teams that had a random 11-game win streak in the middle of the season, around the same time the Blackhawks had an 11-game win streak.
What?
Oh, Jimmy G!
Jimmy G was 40.
Jimmy G, 43.
43. No one has left the room because Carson Wentz sadly did not make the 100 list this year, and Jimmy G's all the way up at 43.
That did not just happen.
Yeah.
Jimmy G, 43.
Panthers are very streaky. I feel like that's going to be their kind of downfall here because with time off of play, I don't trust them being able to win games. So I have the Islanders winning 3-2-1.
Nice.
I have the Islanders winning. Did I have 3-1 also?
Yeah.
I have the Islanders winning 3-1.
Jeez. Consistency is key, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I have it 3-2, so I guess I'm not part of the club.
I think this might be our only unanimous one, though. We all agree that one team's going to win.
No, our next one.
Our next one is the Sidney Crosbys, Pittsburgh Penguins.
By the way, the Blackhawks are 19th in the NHL in scoring, so...
Ooh, just throwing those facts at you.
Anyway.
So Penguins, Canadians.
Sorry,
I have Sidney Crosby scoring 4 goals. Himself.
Wow.
I have it being an 8-1 score Penguins.
Jeez.
Yeah, Canadians are easily the worst team in the bubble, in the NHL bubble. Penguins are going to sweep this team. They're going to beat them pretty bad. Yeah. I think I have 4-0, right? Is that what I wrote down? 4-0?
4-2.
4-2. Yeah, Canadians will get a couple cheap goals, I think.
So I agree. The Penguins are a lot cooler than the Canadians, even though I usually pick the Canadian teams. So the Penguins are going to win 7-3.
Oh,
wow.
Okay. So far, I have the lowest scoring game here because I still remember Carey Price is in net for the Canadiens. Carey Price is still one of the best goaltenders in the league, and he's in net for the Canadiens. But yet I still have the Penguins winning 6-0.
Oh.
Had to put spect on Carey Price's name. You have to. It's just the law. Like, I honestly think the Canadians will take a game out of this series because
Carey Price will literally just save them into a game.
Yep.
Fair.
Well, that man was using his shoe as a phone. Update for MLS.
So, our last game here of the NHL is the Jets versus the Flames.
So where does both those teams originate?
Winnipeg Jets.
Yep.
Calgary Flames. They're both Canadian.
Canada.
So normally I'd pick the Canadian team, but I went for the Jets winning this one, and I have the Jets winning.
That is a Canadian team.
4-2? I don't know. That sounds right.
Yep.
Just because
they're both Canadian, though.
Flames are hot and hockey is cold.
Oh!
Plus, then I can say Jets, Jets.
You're spitting
See,
facts.
but on the opposite side, the Flames are so hot that the other people don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
they can't play as
Flames,
well.
But jet fuel can't melt steel beams, so it doesn't matter.
Flames can.
Wow.
Anyways,
Battle of
I
words.
have Calgary Flames winning 4-2, thanks to some help to a Mr. Matthew Tkachuk. He's going to score 2 of those goals.
I'm also lighting it up 3-2 Flames.
Am I the one that has the... Oh, no, you bet has Jets winning.
Jets, Jets.
It could go either way.
I think the Jets are going to win. I think Patrick Laine is the best player in this series. I think Winnipeg's defense and just the team in general has always been big and physical, as opposed to a Calgary team that is kind of fast, shifty, and will score a lot of goals. Connor Hellebuyck has been Well, French kiss of goaltender this year.
It's true.
So I think that'll be a big difference. Jets 2-1.
Next coming in at 42, a decent.
I'm not
this
mad
is
at
a
that.
good place.
No.
Alvin Kamara.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that.
That especially means Aaron Jones isn't on it.
No.
And I don't think you can justify putting him on that.
At this point, you can't.
So then, the last two Packers, is it Rodgers Alexander or Rodgers Clark?
I just gotta be Rodgers Alexander.
I think that'd be two.
I don't think I could justify Clark.
Maybe they'll throw a fastball at you with an Adrian Amos or something.
Oh, that would be funny.
No.
Mason Crosby.
Mason Crosby.
It's going to be the
Watch
first
that
time they put a
for
rookie on
26.
there. They're going
So
to
happy.
put
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love
I'm loving it.
and Aaron Rodgers.
Whoa!
Which one higher?
Jordan Love, of course.
Well, he's the future. Rodgers is
Jordan
the
Love's
past.
going to get the first number 1 on NFL Players Top 100.
Maybe. Jordan Love is having a time. We're going to stall here for a couple minutes while we wait for the last one here.
Should be, yeah, or one more left tonight.
Yeah. So what's going on in the sports world? Let's take a quick look at the sports, see what's going on.
Well, there's been 6 players who have opted out of the NFL at this point.
That is true. No huge names yet.
No. The Chiefs guard, I'm not going to try his French name.
Right, he's probably the biggest.
Probably as of right now, or the Ravens guy, returner.
Fair. But I think that the Chiefs guy is almost expected, as he kind of, at the beginning, he was kind of out fighting COVID.
Yeah, plus, I mean, he's the only NFL player with a medical doctorate, so...
Right.
And if he's going to spend his time help fighting COVID, good for him. Go for
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
Go
Yeah.
for it. He's foregoing his NFL season to do some good for the world, and I fully support it.
I applaud him for it.
So who do you think? Shot in the dark, number 41. Could
Cortland
be...
Sutton.
No, he's not even on this list. Not if Amari Cooper, Devontae Adams... Who's the receiver just came up recently, too? I don't know. But he's not going to be over Devontae Adams and Amari Cooper, right? No way Cortland Sutton's going to be on
You've
this
seen
list.
this list, right?
I know I've seen this list. You know who 41 could be? Matt Ryan.
That sounds like a good spot for him.
Or Stafford, actually. I could see Stafford or Ryan.
That's
here.
fair. Do you think it's going to be important?
Marvin Jones.
Not Marvin Jones. I will leave right now if Marvin Jones is 10 spots above Devontae Adams. I would be so pissed.
That'd be fucking hilarious. I wouldn't agree with it. It would be fucking hilarious.
Byron Jones, maybe?
Is he Byron Jones?
Yeah.
Wilson?
If Russell Wilson is, that's the end of the podcast if it's Russell Wilson. That's the end of the
Who
podcast, anyways.
J.J. Watt got 45, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I know J.J. Watt's...
Not the same player.
But he still was one of the highest graded defensive linemen last year.
He
He
was.
still played really good.
Yeah. He's so dominant when he plays.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Oh, I'm waiting. Yeah.
I'm nervous, dude. Aaron Jones, right here, 41.
Aaron Rodgers right here.
I would be pissed. Livid.
Do I still have?
Jair actually.
I can see Derek Alexander being right here.
Like-
I wouldn't be that mad about it.
Is this the last one for the night?
This one should be the last one for the night, yeah.
Oh. If there's more, you guys should stay so we can react to it.
I like Alvin Kamara at 42. I think he's a good fit there for you.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's the best place you can put him.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best players in the league, but he's not quite in that top 30, top 40.
There's going to be a lot of people in the top 40 that would like why are they there, though.
Yeah.
Tre'Davious White's way too low.
True.
He is.
Yeah.
Really well.
Tre'Davious White should be in the top 30. Top
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
I could maybe even argue top 15.
If they put him there, I wouldn't freak out.
I feel like Stephon Gilmore might break top 5.
I think your top 5 is going to be, in no order, Mahomes, Donald, Wilson,
McCaffrey.
I don't even think
McCaffrey,
McCaffrey.
Michael Thomas.
Then, in top 10, it'll be DeAndre, Julio,
Yeah, and Julio in there.
Lamar.
Quentin Nelson. I see Quentin Nelson.
Quentin
Yeah,
Nelson.
top 10.
I feel like Stephon will have to be in the top 10.
Who do you guys think will be the top receiver?
Top receiver, probably Michael Thomas.
It's probably going to be Michael Thomas, but it should be...
I personally think Julio's the
It
best.
should be
put
Julio.
D-Hop.
It should be D-Hop or Julio, but it's going to be Michael Thomas.
If you look at a lot of the teasers, D-Hop goes in at 2 or 3 most of the time.
Oh shit!
I think D-Hop's amazing, but Julio is the example for consistency and eliteness of wide receiver. Julio has been so good for so many years now.
Oh yeah,
he's going to put up another 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns next year, and nobody's going to remember him.
I still personally think that Michael Thomas, you just can't guard him. Because I argued that DeAndre Hopkins was the best receiver like 2 months ago, and everybody was like, no, it's Michael Thomas. Or no, it's Julio. I'm like, no. But now I've led and I flipped the switch and I'm on the Michael Thomas train.
I'm not.
This is taking forever.
Yeah, well, because it ends at 10. It's 9:55.
Oh, okay. So.
Hey, is there any other news? Are we just waiting for this last one before we end it?
Yeah, we are. Quick look at baseball. There's a lot of high-scoring games this season so far, which is cool to see, I guess.
8-1 Brewers Cubs.
A 7-4 Mets Boston.
Followed by a 7-3 Cubs Brewers.
Wasn't there a 10-5?
Yeah.
Twins
White Sox.
White Sox.
And then they beat them 14-2 the other day.
Yeah.
Or yesterday even.
Tampa Bay won 14-5 against Atlanta. Kansas City 14-6 against Detroit.
Ooh.
Right now, Cubs are winning 8-2 against Cincinnati.
Nice.
Cubs have only lost 1 game. Well, this is Cubs' 3rd game.
Hey!
Hey, the Rams shouting out the LAFC.
Yeah, even though I don't like LAFC, but I love the Rams, so.
Third.
And their ugly logo.
And their ugly ass logo. My jersey should be here in 2 weeks, boys.
Jersey?
Mm-hmm. My Aaron Donald jersey. I did buy one of their new ones because I'm like, you know what?
Might as well.
Complain about it.
Which one? The
blue
bone?
one. No, the bone
one.
one.
Okay.
The bone one's disgusting.
Okay,
at least the blue one's.
Say.
The blue one I can at least wear in public and not feel as bad. The bone one makes me want to vomit.
Bone one?
Yeah, it's not white. It's bone.
That's the color they actually like.
I don't like the white jersey. I would probably have gotten the blue and yellow one.
I definitely did.
41. Shaquille Griffin. No, Jadeveon Clowney. Sorry.
What?
Jadeveon at 41.
Jadeveon Clowney.
Fucking 3 sacks, Jadeveon Clowney.
I saw a Seahawk helmet, and from a distance, it looked like Shaquille, but nope. Jadeveon Clowney.
Just saying, Jadeveon Clowney is better than J.J. Watt. He's better than Zadarius Smith. He's better than kind of a nice pass rusher. Chris Jones. He's better than.
I mean, I can't argue.
And then Ben, do you want to know?
He's better than Forrest Buckner.
And do you want to say? Can I tell you something about the statement you just made? None of that's true.
No.
None of that's true.
I have a hard time arguing against most of those.
That's awful. This list has been horrendous. I can't wait to watch the later ones until it's god.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, it's gonna be something. We'll get we'll give our reactions to our top 10 of the list next week on the pod. So stay tuned for that.
Yep. Tomorrow will be up to 11, and then the top 10 will be on Wednesday. So check Twitter. Keep posted.
Yeah.
SighSquadPod will probably post some rant if somebody dumb gets in the top 10.
Yeah, or if somebody
gonna be in the top 10.
When Mitch Trubisky makes the list, I'm gonna be happy. But that's everything for this podcast. Make sure you follow us on social media at SighSquadPod.
I'm gonna be so pissed if Dak's really high. I don't think Dak should even be on the list at this point.
Wait, Dak hasn't?
No,
Dak's already been on it.
No,
Yeah,
he has. Okay, thank God. All right,
But
this has been the SighSquadPod. Ignore my little tangent.
all right. Well, I'm Duncan.
I'm Ben.
I'm Noah.
And I'm the only guy that believes in Jared Stidham.
You're the only guy in the whole country